Welcome to our webinar on how to maximize your return on investment at the show and attracting buyers in media. We come to you from Chicago this afternoon. It's quite brisk here, so hoping that some of you are listening from warmer climates. And we're going to kick off today with introductions on who we are, and then we're going to get into basically the marketing kit that you should have all received in mid-November.
Good afternoon, at least here in Chicago, and to Nancy's point, wherever you are. My name is Jon Jesse. I'm the Vice President of Industry Development for IHA. I've been fortunate to be here at IHA for 2 years now. However, I've been in the industry and involved in housewares for over 30 years, primarily on the retail side, where I come from Kohl's department stores out of Milwaukee, where I spent 23 years primarily as the senior merchant for the home there, as Senior Vice President. The reason I bring that up is hopefully as we get through not only today in this webinar that I'll be able to share some insights relative to how retail views the marketing kit as well as the show in terms of obviously maximizing your time and effort heading into the show.
I'm Nancy Michael. I'm the Senior Manager for Trade Show Business Development. I work with the sales team on your spaces.
I'm Debbie Teschke, the Senior Manager of Public Relations and Communications. I work with the media for the show, and I'll be talking about ways that you can grab some media exposure.
Good afternoon. My name is Radha, and I'm also on the sales team for the trade show.
As we go through today, if there are questions, if you have questions during this webinar, we're anticipating this will go approximately an hour. Please feel free to jump in by using your chat function to submit questions. Additionally, you should be aware that this webinar is being recorded and will be on our website, housewares.org, within the next 24 hours. In addition to that, you will be receiving an email from Radha after this with a link to the webinar as well, so you can go back and. Before we jump into some of the more tactical components of the show and what really will provide you a lot of detail regarding how to get ready for the show, we just wanted to take a moment and share with you some information that you're probably not aware of, but I think that could be very, very informative to you as you look at the show and prepare for it going forward. In terms of how the show can help you, you may most likely not be aware of it, but we have a turnover, quite substantial turnover of buyers every year. Not that we don't have a significant amount of buyers, but approximately 1/3 of the buyers that we have are new every year. That really is an opportunity as we get new blood into certainly retail and the housewares business. This can be attributed to either new attendees from new stores, could be special at some of the major and key retailers. In addition to that, if you look at the international markets, we really are an international marketplace. We have begun to attract international attendees, and that number continues to grow as we market it aggressively. Of our buyers, our retail attendees, are from outside the country. Many of those are new as well. One of the significant components of our show that we're very much become known for is that we are a top-to-top show. We do have the key decision makers here. In addition to having the top 100 retailers in the country at our show, those retailers bring their key executives. In fact, just under 40% last year of our attendees on the retail side in the U.S. were what we consider key decision makers, either owners of specialty stores and independents or senior executives within companies. So we do have those executives here that guide and direct and make decisions at key retailers. And then obviously the show can help you certainly by generating a lot of consumer interest as it relates to media exposure. Coming from the buying side, as I mentioned earlier, retailers really look to the media and a lot of the trade publications, social media, et cetera, as they head into show as a key component to how they plan their show events and their show days. And then making a plan before the show that may seem somewhat simplistic, but in obviously my time as retail and working with exhibitors as well, all of us, we can't expect that the business just comes to us. We have to go out and get it. We've seen, and I've seen certainly in retail, that good buyers and good retailers really come to the show with a plan, and they have specific objectives in terms of what they're looking for. In a lot of respects, they need to be specific and realistic about those goals. The other piece that really becomes critical is, in my time here in 2 years, I'm personally amazed at the resources that are available to IHA. We are going to go through a lot of those today, try to go through them as quickly as possible, but IHA really is a resource for you, not only for the show. There are a lot of things that are available, and we've seen that the more successful exhibitors and, quite frankly, retailers are the ones that do take advantage of the things that are offered. So please continue to look to IHA as a resource. What we want to do now is just, we're going to jump into some of the more tactical components of the marketing kit and how to attract buyers to the show. And we're going to really break this up into 3 different sections. We're going to start by talking about those tools that are available that you can take advantage of to attract buyers. Then we're going to move into HC 365, which is Housewares Connect 365. This is on our website, has been developed over time, is really a key tool for not only exhibitors that you can use, but again, retailers really use this, certainly around the show, and I'll provide some examples as we go through this over the next hour. But they're really beginning to use it on an annual basis, and as we reach out and communicate with our retailers, they're telling us it is a critical tool, so something that we want to spend some time on. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to really... Yes?
We have a question.
Sure.
Is there a list available that we can access to reach out to the buyers, invite them to our booths? If so, does this list contain emails?
What we have, and we'll talk about it as we get farther here post-show, anyone who exhibits at the show has the buyer list available to them for free from last year's show. That should be a very comprehensive list. Unfortunately, our retailers don't necessarily want us to share their email addresses, and we respect that from the retail community. So that particular list does not contain retail email addresses, but it does contain all the other contact information that is necessary to reach out to the retail community.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. And then the last thing I'll mention, we're going to end up by talking about the media and how critical that is and how you can take advantage of all the media opportunities available to you pre-show. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nancy, and we're going to jump right into the marketing kit.
So the picture you're looking at is the cover of the printed kit that I referenced earlier. You should have received, or either your marketing contact for the show or your show contact for the show would have received this. The marketing kit printed version is really to be used in conjunction with the website. So if you don't have it, don't worry. Everything you need to know is on the website. And we're going to show you how to get there. So if you go to www.housewares.org, that is the main Housewares URL, and you go to the first tab there, Show, and then you go to Exhibit at the Show. And then you're going to see these tiles down below, and you want to go to the tile that's highlighted there, Key Exhibitor Services. And then Exhibitor Marketing Kit is found right in there. I just like to point out also that the Exhibitor Services Manual, or the ESM, this is an old slide, it's not coming soon, it's live and working, and I'm please encouraging you, if you haven't looked at your Exhibitor Services Manual, to make sure you do, because there's really important deadline dates on those, and if you miss some of those, particularly the Freeman forms, you're going to be looking at a 40% increase in your costs. So please make sure that you've got that on your radar for right before or right after the holiday. And then this picture here is what the landing page for the Exhibitor Marketing Kit looks like on the website. And you can see all the tiles there. We've tried to keep it very easy to navigate. So we're going to go through a bunch of these: attract buyers, awards and displays, and then Debbie's going to get into attract media. So it's very self-explanatory. I will frame for you that I am always available to take you through the kit, to point out the services that I kind of think are must-dos. So you can contact me at any time. We're really known, if you haven't worked with us before, service is a priority for us. We do a lot of hand-holding, particularly if you're a new exhibitor, but returning exhibitors alike. So feel free to contact me at any time. So we're going to talk about attracting buyers. So the Housewares Association is a not-for-profit association, in case you were not aware of that. We really try to keep our value-added services at no cost. Generally, when there is a cost, it's used to offset whatever the cost is to us. So just keep that in mind. Most of the opportunities in the marketing kit are free. There are some paid, and Debbie will get more into the paid media services. But again, also there's many free services to take advantage of. So keeping with our theme, we're going to talk about before the show, during the show, and our post-show follow-up. Don't forget about your post-show follow-up. I don't have the actual statistic, but I do know that usually when a show is over, all those leads you've worked so hard to get often fall by the wayside when you get back to the office and you get involved in other things. So just make sure as we go through this, you're thinking about how you're going to follow up on the leads you do get at the show. So here's the question about the buyers list. So we always put up the previous year's buyers list because we are still collecting our buyers list for 2018. It's sortable by retail channel, responsibility, and product category. So it's an Excel spreadsheet. You can download it, you can manipulate it every which way till Tuesday. There are no email addresses, as John mentioned. That is at the buyer's request. We do have advisory councils of several different groups of buyers. We are offering an opt-in this year for 18 if they'd like to include their email address. So maybe next year's list you will see some. We always say if you're savvy, you can often figure out a company's email address. So just keep that in mind. And then, traditional phone, mail, fax, be creative. We talk about fax because often now faxes are kind of obsolete, but they will go into, at least here, they come into our inboxes. So that's another way to get in touch with people. So go ahead and use that to your heart's content. It's a great tool. People who use it, you often find they get more visitors to their booth.
Let me add one thing real quickly. Just on a side note, again, coming from the retail side of it, it's really interesting in this digital age that everyone gets inundated with emails, but I will tell you in buying offices, someone every day goes and gets the mail. And no matter what, someone looks at the mail. So we've kind of come full circle, but don't discount the fact that, especially around Christmas time, if they get something in a package, potentially product sample, they always look at it. It's kind of amazing, so keep that in mind.
So in order to get access to the buyer's list, you have to be an assigned exhibitor, and you would have your ID number and seniority number is your password into the buyer's list. The international buyer lists are also up there, so just know that you can do both domestic and international. And then I want to point out the red box on the right. There's a lot of poachers in this industry, in the trade show industry in general, that will try to sell you services that we offer to you for free. So please be aware of this. You're going to see this often, and we've been getting a lot of these recently. Our exhibitors send us hotel poachers who are trying to sell you rates and lock you into contracts. We work with the city of Chicago very diligently. We get the best hotel rates, the lowest hotel rates we can for showtime. So we encourage you to use On Peak, who's our housing provider. It not only helps the show and the city, it keeps everything vibrant. So in the chain of economics, it's important for us. The buyer list, you'll have a lot of people who are trying to sell you buyer lists. Don't be fooled. We don't know where they get their information, but we manage the data for our buyer list. We do not sell it. It's available to you. And then the show directory, you'll often get this in the mail. There's two of them, the fair guide and the expo guide. These are also contracts if you decided to sign up for them. They basically promote that they'll promote you internationally. They're thousands of dollars that you're locking yourself into, so just throw them away if you happen to see them. We have a whole show directory system that Rod is going to get into with you shortly. In fact, right now.
So Housewares Connect 365 is our online directory. It is available year-round, and you can update it as an exhibitor through your company directory listing. As Nancy mentioned, this directory is free. You can, and again, update it throughout the year as you see fit. Why should you use Housewares Connect 365? You'll see HC 365 often on this page. That's also what we refer to it as. More than 300,000 searches were conducted by consumers, buyers, and media. And we say consumers because we have a very high SEO, search engine optimization on our website. And so this site gets very heavily visited by consumers. We receive lots of calls to the office for somebody who has purchased, a KitchenAid mixer and they need to replace a part. So just be aware, again, that many consumers are looking at this site and may see your company's listing. If a buyer does go to your your Housewares Connect listing and only sees that you have your company name listed, it's not very engaging. So we're going to briefly talk about how to optimize your listing and make your listing very engaging.
Just a quick testimonial I want to add here, because I think it's important to understand how this HC365 is being viewed and how it's building presence in the marketplace. About 2 months ago, I got a call from a brand new housewares buyer from a national, very large national chain. They didn't know anything about housewares, didn't have a lot of information, just started going out online, doing some searching. We came up as the #1 housewares search site. They went to our website. They found HC365. They started building their assortments because they saw they could do it by category, look at vendors. And it was their first opportunity to really get involved in housewares. And that's where it led them to, totally out of the blue. She ended up finding my name, called me, and we walked through HC365 and other ways that she could reach out to the exhibitor base. But it's used. I'll guarantee you it's used by retailers. And it's used quite a bit. It's getting a lot more play. So don't discount the fact of its importance.
So we do have a mobile application that goes along with the online directory. Anything that you upload onto your listing is translated live onto the mobile app. So we're just going to quickly go over the Housewares Connect overview, how to update your listing. We'll review how the buyers and media use it, and the application is, available for download now. This tool can help you increase your searchability before the show. Buyers and media, as John was saying, do use this tool to prepare for the show, and we will review how to update the key things that you'll be updating in your listing, such as description, product images, catalogs, videos. We'll be reviewing the signage that you can have that will also appear in your listing, and any information regarding company news, special events, in-booth appearances. When you update your company listing, again, you'll go to our housewares.org, our main page. You'll hover over Show, click Exhibit at the show. You'll be taken to the Exhibitor Resources landing page, and if you scroll down, you'll see a blue box, and you click Update Your Company Listing at the bottom. So when you're taken to the Update Your Company Listing page, you will need your ID and seniority numbers to log on. You can contact me or anybody in our office for your company ID and seniority numbers. Please note that we do not share company ID and seniority numbers with PR agencies. So if you are having a PR agency update your listing on your behalf, we will have to share it with you, and then you may forward it to your PR agency. My contact information. So as you update your company listing, you'll see a navigation field on the left-hand side. Here it is blown up. So when you update your listing, you'll be able to go through every single one of these fields. They're hyperlinked. So if you don't have product catalogs at the moment, you can always go back and update your product catalog information at any time throughout the year. Once you've completed an update, you'll see on the top at company address that it turns green.
I just want to chime in. Radha and myself did a full webinar on how to use HC 365. So that is in under the education tab. You can see what the upcoming webinars are, and you can go to all the recorded webinars we've done if you want a full on how to use HC 365 in more detail.
So that webinar Nancy mentioned will also review these file size recommendations and tips while you are uploading any information. In terms of file size, the smaller the better, so the faster it opens. Catalogs have to be in PDF form, images, JPEG, or GIF. File names should be simple. And again, the webinar on Housewares Connect 365 goes into greater detail about the updating process of your listing.
I just want to chime in again too. As we mentioned, a lot of consumers go on this site. I know a lot of catalogs now have printed wholesale pricing in them, so you just want to be cautious of that. If consumers are going to start playing around on your profile page and going into your catalogs, you're probably not going to want to put your pricing on there. Also, just be aware your competitors are on there too, making, looking at your profile, looking at your products, etc. So just be cautious.
As Nancy mentioned earlier, it is important to remember that the Housewares Connect 365 directory and your listing is for free. If you are contacted by any other organizations asking for payment to be featured in their listing, that is not the Housewares Association. So please contact us if you have any questions about that, but again, ours is free. So you've updated your company listing, and we will take a look at what buyers, media, and the consumers see. There's a keyword search, and here I've searched Casa Bell, and that takes me to Casa Bella Holdings listing. And we can see here that what their booth number is and what expo they're exhibiting in. They have product photos. They've uploaded videos. They're offering show specials. And as a buyer of media, you can add a company to your briefcase by clicking on this orange icon. So let's say you're Casa Bella Holdings and you'd like to see what you've uploaded. You've clicked your name, and this is a portion of your listing. If you feel like you need to update anything, you can also click this hyperlink at the top of the page, and it will return you to the login screen where you'll use your ID and seniority number to log back in to make any updates. As an entire overview, this is what a complete company listing will look like facing outward. Here they've updated their logo. Yes?
We have one quick thing. Can you please repeat the name of the app to download?
Yes, so when you go on, it's available for both Apple and Android, and you can search Housewares Show, or you can search IH plus HS.
Thank you.
Returning to the directory listing, you can see that Casa Bella has uploaded a company logo, where they're exhibiting within the show, company address, on-site contact information, a company description, company videos, product images, additional videos and images, their product listing, catalogs, brands, and licenses. The Housewares Connect is a tool that helps buyers and media plan for the show, Media use it as well to identify new and innovative products and to find newsworthy stories to support their editorial content. So again, on the landing page for Housewares Connect 365, you're able to search by keyword. Most of these keywords are pretty self-explanatory. You can also search for the cooking theater schedule on this, using this directory listing. You can also get buildings by floor plan and exhibitor lists that are available for print and download. And again, buyers and media use this tool to search for special events throughout the show, product demos, anything to prepare for the show. And as a buyer in media, if you add somebody to your briefcase, all the company names will be sorted for you, and they'll be able to map their show. And again, with the application, the mobile app, they will use this map to navigate throughout the show.
Okay, so we're going to talk now through attracting buyers. We're going to have a few things in here that are due cost, and here are the sponsorships. Like I said earlier, we don't do a lot of sponsorships. We're not for profit. We like to make sure that the little guy can compete with the big guy. But we do have a few sponsorships available, and they're listed right there on your screen. The buyers clubs, only buyers and media are allowed in there. Buyer lunch areas. We give every buyer a free lunch. If you're a registered buyer, one of the value adds we do on that side is free lunch, so that's another great place to show off your product. We do allow demonstrations in the cafe as well. The IBC, which is our International Business Center, it's essentially a lounge and meeting rooms for international buyers and exhibitors to work in a space. And then bus videos. We have a whole charter of buses that go to and from McCormick Place from the hotels, and it's a great captive audience to advertise your products and your booth numbers on the video that plays on the bus. So I'm going to spend a little time on this. This is kind of a dual program. So in every buyers club, and I mentioned earlier, nobody other than buyers and media are allowed in there. We're very strict about it. If you're an exhibitor and you're like, oh, I got to drop off this product and I want to go see how it's merchandised, blah, 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 they will not let you in. And that is just to kind of preserve intellectual property because it has to be a new product that goes in here. It's a $300 entry fee. We have a team of merchandisers that set up showcases in there. The great part of this program, and this plays into wanting to get email addresses from your buyers. When a buyer walks in to the Buyers Club, they're handed a scanner, and every product has a scan code and a booth number listed next to it. They scan the products they're interested in. When they leave the Buyers Club, they're given a printed handout of everybody they scanned with booth numbers. Then at the end of the show, they're sent an email with everybody that they visited, and you are also sent an email of every buyer that visited you, and that also has their email address on it. So that is a great, it's a great added service we do. The other big part about the showcases is the GIA. The GIA is the Global Innovation Awards. We see our awards all over the world. Uh-oh. We have a little technical difficulty here. I'm going to keep talking about GIA, though. So as long as you make the deadline, which is January 26th, to get into the new product showcase, every product that's entered into the new product showcase is eligible to win a GIA award, and those are judged on 13 different categories by expert judges, retailers, designers. We have a whole slew of team of jurors, essentially, who judge the products, and then if you are a finalist, you get a special display in the new product showcase of all finalist products, and you're notified about that prior to the show. And then we have a big gala in which all the winners are announced, which takes place at the Radisson Blu, and that's, if you're a finalist, you're invited to that.
Nancy, we have a question.
Oh,
Please define new product. We showed our product last year, but it is only available as of January 28th. Is this still considered a new product?
that's cutting it close because you're up on a year, essentially, of a new product. If it's out in the marketplace, then we don't really consider it new. But we know also that January is a big launch time. So if you have products that have been on the market for a very short amount of time, or you're just now getting ready to launch, we do consider that new. You can talk with Connie Chantos, and her stuff is online. You can get her information, or if you want to contact me, I can put you in touch with her. But she would be the one to really talk you through what's acceptable and what's not, and depending on what your distribution is and whatnot. So hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we also have what we call our Hall of Global Innovation, which is where a lot of our displays are housed at the show. That's in the East Building or Lakeside Center, if you're familiar with the showgrounds. And here, Pantone, we work with Pantone annually, and we announce the 2019 color palette at the show. Lee Eisman, who heads that up, does a huge couple of different seminars. She fills over 1,000 seats, so it's pretty important if you're not familiar with Pantone. They are the color experts. So this one, you apply online, you submit your catalogs. Pantone makes the selections if they want to use your company name. They're all in, we have a big display in the Lakeside lobby, and all the products are labeled with your name and booth number. Often they'll select several products, so it's great exposure and it's free. And your deadline there is January 11th. Okay, so order writing at the show. So we're a very top-to-top show, as John mentioned, so sometimes a lot of the time the buyers are there, but their boss is there also making buying decisions. But we also have quite a large number of independents and all sorts of different retailers in today's climate come to the show. So you need to be prepared to write orders. We definitely hear, every year you have an exhibitor who's like, oh, I thought it was just, a networking talk. And then I had people who wanted to write orders and I couldn't because I didn't have anything. So you get the gist. Be prepared to write an order. If you don't have an order writing form, we have one that we've created, a template. You can download that on the website. And also your show specials on that HC365. We don't generally want to know what the show special is, but when a buyer is looking, they see that star and they know that you have a show special, and that drives a lot of traffic. A lot of people do freight programs, etc. So be prepared to write an order. Okay, this is another free service. We have 800 complimentary lead retrieval units available. 34,000 booth visits were recorded from these machines last show. This is the other way to get an email address. We consider it a business card transaction. So when you scan a buyer's badge with one of your complimentary devices, you will, in your printouts, get their email addresses. So this is really important. I would tell you today, take the 5 minutes, go onto the website, get your unit ordered so you're guaranteed one. And again, these lead retrievals really come into play with your post-show follow-up, because now you've tracked every lead into your booth, and maybe you need to send samples, maybe you just had a really good conversation, etc. So we really encourage you to take advantage of the lead retrieval units. Again, they're free to you. You can purchase upgrades on some of them if you want a more robust system, but they get the job done. And there are the two options. There's a tablet with a printer, and then there's a mobile application, and with the complimentary mobile application, you get 2 licensed approvals to use during the show. Okay, new for home, made in USA, and smart home product signage. New for home, open to everybody. You have new products, You can order as many of these signs as you want. They will be delivered to you on Friday during setup. No limit. We see these all over the world as well, so I highly encourage you to highlight your new products. Buyers are there looking for new products. Made in USA. So this, you actually have to, you can either go in through the HC365 navigation or the marketing kit. It'll take you to the same place. And you have to self-select the criteria. We leave this to you on the honor system. It's the federal guidelines for Made in USA products. I will tell you, we do hear from our buyers that they get really upset when they go to seek out Made in USA products that somebody is selected and they find that it does not meet the criteria. So please, please only do this if you have Made in USA products. Those signs will be dropped off to you also on Friday. There are no extras available, so you have to self-select this in order to get those signs. And it's basically the same protocol with the smart home signs. It has to either be a connected product to the internet supported by a mobile application, or contain an intelligent sensor like a robotic vacuum or so. And then again, we ask you to make sure that you meet that criteria, and we give you those signs as well. So sign deadline is February 10th. So you have a little time, but if you know what you need, I'd do it sooner than later.
Okay, so everything up to this point, we've been talking about, Nancy and Rod have been talking about pre-show. But exactly 91 days from today, the show will be done. Now what? So we do want to mention something that I actually talked about earlier based on the first question that came through, and that was really the buyer list. As I mentioned earlier, the 2018 buyer list will be available in April. It comes in an Excel format that's totally flexible, functional. You can use it any way you like. It will not have emails, with the exception of, Nancy mentioned this year, we are offering to the buyers, because there are buyers who probably want their email addresses out there and want to be contacted. So we're giving them that that opt-in opportunity, and we hope that a lot of them take advantage of that. That list will be available in April of 2018. We will have a webinar for that as well that will be introducing that list in terms of how to use it. There's been so much investment for all your companies for the show. It would be a shame to not take advantage of this at this point. So post-show, one of the biggest opportunities is to take advantage of the buyer list that will be made available. So with that in mind, Debbie, you awake over here?
I'm here.
Okay, we're going to turn it over to Debbie to talk about media.
Thanks, Jon.
Hold on, we have one question, please. When will Freeman be available to start planning ahead?
Freeman is available now. All the forms are up. If you go into the Exhibitor Services Manual, you should be able to find some Freeman contact information. If not, you can contact your sales manager, and they will put you in touch with whoever you need. But we are reviewing booth diagrams now. The forms are up and ready. As I mentioned before, you don't want to miss that deadline. It's a February deadline. Otherwise, your Freeman costs will go up in very large dollar amounts. So Freeman's up and running. We're in full swing.
Thank you.
Okay, back to the media. The 2017 show gathered more than 375 million consumer impressions in the news media. And that's just not at showtime. That's been throughout the year. I'm still seeing some clips of articles that were maybe written last spring, and now some newspapers are running them now. So you want to make sure that you're part of that consumer coverage in the media and to get your products out there. What is a consumer impression? And that is simply, we take the total viewer numbers from any TV or radio broadcast, sometimes they're the Nielsen numbers, plus the circulation from newspapers, magazines, and internet articles, and then we add that up. And that is how we get our consumer impressions. Some of you may work with a PR agency. Sometimes agencies use a multiplier because they feel a newspaper article or a magazine is passed around, so more than one person will see it. They'll use a multiplier of 3. Ours are pure numbers, and I do know that 375 million number is way larger based on some internet coverage that we've seen as well. So my job is to help you be part of this coverage, and I think we're offering some great services that can help you do that. So in the printed marketing kit, this is the page with all of the news media services. And then all the detail is online in the marketing kit page. Just click on the Attract Media tile, and that'll take you to the page that lists all of the services we're going to talk about today. So first up, we have these services that you need to do before the show to get, coverage during the show, and I'm going to try and go through them all right now. So first we have the show preview press event. This is January 18th in New York. I know today is the published deadline for registration, but we're extending that. I have about 20 tables left. It's a great way to meet consumer and trade media. It's limited to 60 exhibitors. Now remember, the show has 2,200 exhibitors in total. So if you're at this event, you're one of 60 versus one of 2,200. The media come, they walk around the room and stop and talk with you and ask you to demonstrate your product. And it's a great way to kind of touch base with the consumer editors, because a lot of them can't come to Chicago. So this is their opportunity to see the new products in New York. We'll also do a brief demonstration video that we'll put up on our YouTube channel, and you can link to in your Housewares Connect 365 listing. And we do a product catalog, and my PR team will review all of those products in that that are shown at the event, and they will use that when they're starting to pitch the consumer media in January. Because believe it or not, some of the network morning programs, when we start to talk to the producers, they want to know in January what's going to be at the show. And through seeing the products at the show preview, that's one way we can inform them about what will be there. This is what the preview looks like. Everybody gets a table, a 6-foot table. You can show up to 4 new products, and the media will walk around and stop and talk to you. The cost is very economical. It's $1,500. The event is 4 hours from 2 to 6 p.m. And I would, strongly encourage you to consider participating and sign up if you're interested. And then we'll do another event in June. So this is the only event that we have now, and then the next one won't be until June. Next is the media registration list. As with the buyer list, we post the 2017 list up on the website. It's on the same page as the buyer list. So you will need your senior ID or your company ID and seniority number. And once again, if you're an agency, we cannot give that information to you. You will have to get it from your client, have them either download the list or give you their ID numbers. It is confidential to the exhibitor, which is, you're wondering why we can't give that to you. So we just can't share it. But the list includes the email addresses of the media if they were provided. And then the 2018 pre-register list will be posted in mid-February. We kind of close off media registration at that time. Media can still register after that, but in mid-February, we'll kind of close it off and then post the list. And that will be the one time that we post the 2018 list until after the show when we do the full list. Next is the traveling media tour. And this is one of the paid services that we offer. It's done by a third-party vendor. And it looks like a news segment on morning news programs and afternoon news shows. And what we do is we'll go into TV stations around the country and do a news segment talking about new products at the show. It's limited to about 6 to 8 companies. If you do sign up, you will have exclusivity in your category. I think we have about 3 or 4 spots left. So if you're interested, I would contact Gigi Lubin at Newsmark. The deadline is January 31st, but as I say, there's about 4 spots are taken already. This is a little bit expensive for smaller companies. It might not be in your budget. The cost is about between $8,000 to $10,000. And so, we know that the larger companies are, might take advantage of it, but Gigi will also work with you on a package. So if you're interested, please contact her. And the tour is done by Sissy Biggers and another TV reporter. They go into the studio and they talk about the products. Now, you're going to say, Deb, I've looked through all of the products that you have in the marketing kit, and I'm a small company, or I don't have a big staff, and I really can't do a lot. What would be the one thing that you would recommend? Well, that's the new product information for news media listing, and it's free. And this is your opportunity to include new product listings in your Housewares Connect 365 listing that only the news media can see. Nobody else will see it. Buyers won't see it, consumers won't see it, your competitors won't see it. You won't even see it if you just look yourself up on Housewares Connect 365. The news media have to be logged into their briefcase, and they will have a special search in the drop-down menu, as Radha showed earlier on the different keyword searches. There will be a special new product for media search that they can use when they've logged into their briefcase. And
Debbie, do you have a question?
Yes.
I am an exhibitor and do not know my company ID or seniority number. Who do I contact to obtain this?
You would contact Radha, and her information was in the, we'll have it again at the end of the presentation, but contact Radha and she can give you that information.
I will be sending an email with a link to this webinar later this afternoon. So whoever is asking will have my direct email address once I send this webinar link this afternoon.
Thank you.
Now, there are two ways to enter this information, and we've tried to make it very easy for PR agencies to do this for the companies. First, you would do it through the marketing kit page. You click on the link on the tab, and it'll take you to a page with a box where you just enter the company name, or you can do it through update your company listing. And see it on the bottom of that page, you see the additional marketing opportunities. Click on new products for media. That will take you back to the marketing kit website, and with the search box where all you have to do is enter the company name and it should pop up, and then you click on it and then enter all of the information. And there's several benefits to doing this other than it being free and the media seeing your listings. My show PR team will review all of these listings for products that we want to have in the news center. We do have a product room where we will take the media through. It's behind closed doors, so nobody can just go walking in there. But we will have a collection of new products to show the media when they come to the show. The team also looks at these articles for products that they need for the TV segments that we will have during the show. Because a lot of times we'll have segments on Saturday morning before the show opens, and the team hasn't been able to walk the show floor and get products. So this will be a way for us to have new products to use for the TV as well. Again, it's free. The deadline is February 9th. I mean, you could realistically enter all of your listings the night before the show, but the earlier you do, the more exposure you will have to the media, and also for my PR team to take a look at your products. Okay, the second most asked question I get from the media after what's new in terms of the products, they want to know who is going to be at the show. And that's where the special event and product demonstration listing comes in. We encourage you to enter these listings. They go in your HC 365 listing, and anybody can see this information, buyers, media, consumers, you when you look up your company. But if you're doing a special event for the media, a product demonstration, if you're having a celebrity chef, if you're having a designer in your booth, we encourage you to list this information, and so everybody can see that, because there is a special search. And you can do it either through the marketing kit or through your Housewares Connect exhibitor portal. There it's called in-booth demonstration, but it's the exact same listing. Okay. Trade publications are very important to the show and to our exhibitors, and as John will tell you, they are the way that you will get to the retail buyers. So a lot of the services that I've talked about, we're stressing the importance of consumer media, but you don't want to forget the trade media as well. And so in the marketing kit, we have 3 different services for you here. First, we have a listing of all of the editorial contacts at the trade publications that cover housewares. We encourage you to take that list and create your pitching list to send them your information. Then to make that easy for you, we have a section called New Product News. And as you know, the trade publications, both domestic and international, will put out calls for your new products that you're going to have at the show, because they'll do pre-show issues, they do show dailies, or special show issues. And so we have all the submission information on the website. It'll tell you how to submit it to them, what to give them, what the deadlines are. Many of the international trade publication deadlines are either right now or they've kind of passed. The domestic deadlines are coming up. So I encourage you to look at this information soon. And as John can probably tell you from his experience as a retailer, this is how the retailers find out about the new products. And so, and it's free. You know, you don't get charged. This isn't advertising. It's a free editorial opportunity. So I encourage you to take a look at this and submit your information to the trade publications. And lastly, if you do want to advertise with a magazine, we have a list of the advertising deadlines for all of the publications with contact information, and you can take a look at that. Okay, next we have online press kits. And a lot of exhibitors don't want to do a paper kit. They would like to go green and do an online press kit. And so we've partnered with the Virtual Press Office, which is owned by PR Newswire and Cision, and they are offering several packages available for our exhibitors. And there's a lot of benefits for doing this. The kits are up year-round. You don't have to put together paper. If you go to the press kit information tile on the website and click on that, that'll list the various opportunities that we have for the press kits, and then click on online press kit, and it'll take you to the page where you can click through to get the information from Virtual Press Office. Now, this is a paid service, but it's a great opportunity. The kits are as small as $399 for a kit that has 3 items. You can put 2 press releases and a photo, or, if you need a bigger package, if you have more press releases, they will work with you on that. They also offer press kit distribution for you, and sometimes exhibitors want to put a press release out on the newswire, and they offer some packages for that too. But the site is available 24/7, 365 days a year. It's available from any device, so it has a long shelf life, and it'll be up from now until like next October when we start the next show cycle. And the media can download the kits from any from their office. They can do it from the show. They can do it after the show. So I encourage you to take a look at this and contact the Virtual Press Office if you have any questions. Next, I want to talk about the services that we have during the show, which are the Show News Center, and then a way for you to write a press release if you don't know how to do so. The News Center is the headquarters for the media at the show. We're located in room S401 on level 4 of the South Building. And in the News Center, we will put out your press kits for free, your paper kits. And we usually get about 200 to 300 companies taking advantage of this. And I highly encourage you to have something in the News Center for the media to take. The deadline for getting us the kits is March 9th, and that information is on the webpage. This is what the News Center looks like. And as you can see, we put the kits out in clear plastic bins. We do it alphabetically by company. And the media come and they will pack up the kits. One of the first things they do when they come to the News Center after they get their badge and hang up their coat is they'll start going through the press kits. So we encourage you to make sure you have your company name and maybe a photo on the cover of the kit so they know who it's from. We give the media boxes to pack up the kits, and then after the show, we will send them back to their offices free of charge. So we make it very easy for the media to get your information. You can do either a folder, we'll take a thumb drive, we can take CDs, But it's just very important that you have something. And if you don't know how to put together a press kit on the website, we do have a little tip sheet called How to Put Together a Press Kit, and it'll give you some ideas, or else, you know, send me an email or give me a call and I can help walk you through it. Now, if you don't know how to write a press release, you're a small exhibitor, you don't have a PR person, or you're not working with an agency, we have an easy service for you that will help you put together a press release. It's $99 per release. All you have to do is enter the information about your company and your product online, and in about 48 hours, you will get a Word document that's yours to keep. And you can post it on your website, you can post it in your 365 listing, print it on your letterhead as a press release in your press kit, or put it on a thumb drive. But it's very cost efficient, and it's done by a very good writer. And she will also help you with media distribution as well. I know we've had some exhibitors who have asked her to send it out to the media for them, and she will do that. She will do that to our media registration list. And the deadline for this is February 24th, but the earlier you do it, the better. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about the media that attend the show. Media wear a blue badge, and we've segmented them into 4 different sections. You have the news media that says on their badge, and that is your traditional print, broadcast, and trade media. Internet media would be anyone with a news website or an internet-based publication. Bloggers are your mommy bloggers and your foodie bloggers who have maybe 10,000 to 50,000 followers and subscribers. And then for people that have over 50,000 followers and subscribers, we're calling them your social media influencers. And those are the professionals they're the YouTube influencers and bloggers that have really nice websites that do nice coverage and have very large followings. Publicity is free. If somebody comes to your booth during the show and they have a media badge and they ask you to pay for a service, whether it's like, oh, we'll film a video for you that we'll put out on our network, but there's a production fee, or you have to pay a sponsorship fee, or we'll write an article, but there's a sponsorship fee. That's not news media. And so please let me know, and we'll make sure that they don't get a media badge in the future. They are a trade guest. Now, the blogging community, as blogging has taken off so big, I know that they like to do sponsorships. And so a blogger may come to your booth and talk to you about being a brand ambassador or do a sponsorship on their website. And that they should be talking to you after the show. That shouldn't be during the show. They shouldn't say, hey, well, if you sponsor me, I'll write about you. That's not media. That's not publicity. Publicity is free. So any editorial coverage should be free. Now, if you'd like to work with a PR agency, I do have a list of PR agencies that I've worked with over the years that have housewares clients. Please contact me, and I'm happy to share that with you. And all of the agencies know that I have this list, and so they'd be happy to talk with you. And they can work with any type of budget, from a small exhibitor to a large exhibitor. So don't hesitate to contact them. And last, as with your buyer follow-up after the show, you're going to want to follow up with the news media after the show. About 3-4 weeks afterwards, we'll have the 2018 media list, and we encourage you to download the list and follow up with the media who attended the show. Some may have come to your booth, some may not have. They may have missed you, so you want to make sure that you contact them. It will have email addresses if the media have allowed us to provide them to you. We also encourage you to use it. Yes.
We have a question.
Okay.
Just to confirm, again, anyone with blue badges from the media may want to write about us for coverage and shall not ask exhibitors to pay, correct?
Correct. If they're wearing a blue media badge, they shouldn't be asking you to pay for coverage. If they do, please let me know. That's a trade guest. Anytime that there's a business transaction, that would be a trade guest classification. So let me know about that, and we'll make sure, I'll talk to them, and we'll make sure that we get them classified correctly for the following year.
Thank you.
And also, when you're looking at the media list, and if you can't remember the person's name, but you see a name on there and you say, wait a minute, that person came to me and asked me to pay for something, let me know, about that too after the show, because we're happy to, make sure that we have the right people as media coming to the show. Also, we encourage you to update your Housewares Connect 365 listing, because I send the media there year-round. I'll get a call from an editor in June looking for new product information, and so I'll send them the Housewares Connect 365. And then again, in June, we will have another press event in New York, and this is another opportunity for you to connect with the consumer and trade media and show them your new products for the second half of the year or the holiday selling season.
Okay, we're getting ready to wrap this up. A couple things. In case you're not aware, the show, we have what we call a power hour. The show closes at 5:30, but we extend till 6:30 if you want to set up appointments for that hour. At 6:30, you'll start hearing the prompts to leave the hall. Badge registration is open now. Please get your badges registered if you want them mailed to you. The cutoff date for that is January 31st. It's a great service. We're one of the few shows that still take on that cost. It's great for you to have. You can just walk right into McCormick for setup when you get there, no lines. And then again, On Peak is the show's official housing partner. Don't be fooled by any of those poachers. Inspired Home, this is our consumer platform. We're in our third year of this. If you're not familiar with it and you want to really start reaching the consumer, we can put you together with the people that manage that. It's very Pinterest-like. You can go check it out at theinspiredhome.com. Can take a look at the numbers. They're growing steadily and quickly, and we're getting really great coverage on this. I hear from exhibitors all the time how they feel that this has really helped increase their brand identity and their sales. So we encourage everyone to get involved in that. There's an editorial calendar online. John's going to Excellence in Booth Design Awards. So we started this program last year. There's other webinars on this, Fundamentals of Booth Design. We're going to do another one January 3rd. If you're a smaller exhibitor and a 300 square foot booth or less, we just did a webinar with our consultant, Matthew Goodman, who's an expert visual merchandiser. Anyways, please sign up to be considered for the Excellence in Booth Design Award. This gets awarded at the show. We award on Sunday, so you have it to display in your booth. It's a great way to just get involved in some of the things we offer. Now it's John's turn.
And lastly, we did talk about IHA as being a resource for many things, one of which is if you need a manufacturer's rep, we are a resource for that. You can find that on our website via Rep Connect, whether you're looking for it by geographic area, state by product category, certainly retail type or channel, or certainly name of product, multiple ways that you can search that. So with that in mind, obviously, I'm assuming, Jenny, we don't have any open questions at the moment.
Actually, we have one question regarding the badges, which everyone probably would need this clarification. If I want to pick up my badges at the show, should I wait to order them?
No. I mean, unless you don't want them mailed. If you don't want them mailed, then register for them after that deadline date. But I highly recommend if you're able to receive them in the mail that you should. We send you a whole packet of them, and that way you're just ready to go. You don't have to stand in lines. The registration lines can get long during setup, and for sure on opening day. So if there's a reason that you don't want them mailed, then just sign up for your badge registration after that deadline date in January, and then you'll have to pick them up.
That's all we have.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for participating. We hope it was informative and worth the time. Like we said, we think the content here is necessary, very helpful, and a great investment of your time as you prepare for the show. A couple of quick things to note. We did mention that the webinar, you will be getting a link later today from Radha. It will also be available on our website at the same time. Future webinars, you can note on the back of the webinar kit. This particular webinar will be done again the end of January, but there are a couple of others in January regarding booth design and media exposure, so you want to refer to the media kit for those. Certainly, if you have any questions whatsoever, up on the screen right now, you'll see our contact information. Please feel free to contact any of us on any topic. If we can't answer it, we will put you in touch with the person who can answer that question for you. So on behalf of the team here and IHA in total, thank you again. Have a great holiday, and all the best for the 2018 International Home and Housewares Show. Thanks.